So I had a whole speech planned about this, but after making the video, I realized that it doesn't really fit. So I'll just kind of be winging it for this one. So if it's a bit long, just excuse me a bit. So, first, there are a lot of moments in Attack on Titan that fit the bill of one villainous moment, right? One villainous scene, sorry. So, spoilers ahead, obviously, and where to begin. So, let's start at the beginning. Easy one would easily be this scene that playing out in front of us here. After all of the things played out and all of it just ripped away in this first episode, from the peaceful, serene scene to showing the apparent villain, which was the Titans. And it was a lot, because from the design to be naked, smiling, unfeeling, it was just awful. And then even how they revealed it in this scene, where it was just these children and this moment, if they will survive, what they will do. And they trying in vain to try and lift this house, which there's no way they could possibly lift, and just looking and all the despair and hope just leaving. By itself, this would have been an amazing one to make it on. Just the sheer design and the scenery of it. But there's far more to it. So even past all of this, there's a few more, because Eren from the beginning here, and this is just the background, was posed as the main character. Hated the Titans because of what they did to his mother, what they did to all his friends, his people, all the people he knew. And this is a key part leading up to the villainous scene, the background of it. Even this scene right here, where the family friend says he's going to save them by going up to the Titan, he's going to kill the Titan, and he's going to save them. And all the courage, all the hope of the typical shonen, right up until he actually gets a look at what a Titan look like up front, and immediately just bails. Just the look of terror on his face, the uncaring smile on the Titan, and immediately, nope, out. Yep, let's go, dudes, out of there. But that's not just it. Every scene under there that have been perfect, but they carry it on, they drag it on just a bit more. What's going to happen? And while the kid looking on all the memory flashes or the typical shonen stuff, you know what's going to happen. And right there comes, and just how they keep this scene dragging and just building the tension on its own, amazing scene. And the whole series is full of those. And the famous chomp. But we just getting started, guys, so don't worry, a lot more to come. The reason I picked Attack on Titan is because there are so many series, but not many of them actually take the time to put the stuff through the villain and give the villain story and backstory. And in this story, we follow Eren from a child to pretty much a man, and that gives us a unique perspective on everything that happens. Because, spoiler, he's the villain here. But even another scene, This scene here where he speaks to Reiner, skipping the betrayal, skipping the scene where they broke the wall, skipping where they found out that Reiner and some of their friends were the very titans that killed their family and destroyed their lives. Not even those. Even though those could be amazing villainous scenes by themselves in single anime, that'll be enough to make an entire anime. In this scene here, this is another big one from supposedly final season when Eren confronts Reiner about all what happened to him, where he finally admits he understood that they never had a choice and that he always saw them as villains, but now they are in the same position. So he telling him, I understand. And Reiner just broken. Someone already leveled not seen any breakdown on it, which was exquisite. But that's not what we're here for. There's just another lead up. And here once again, even though Eren is dubious, you can still rationalize with his reasoning because you followed him for a long time. I may not agree, but you're still debating if he's a villain or not. He's doing bad things, but has a good enough reason for you to still question it. And the casual way it's all brought down just leads more into that. But still, to me, this isn't the most key or that main villainous scene. Not the betrayal, not tricking the kid into bringing him to Reiner. Once again, peak, but not quite it. And after spending all this time with these characters, we know all their personalities and all of that, so you still empathize with Eren. Remember that, because at this point, he is still the protagonist of his story. He may not be the hero, but he's the protagonist. And we follow him, and right or wrong, to some extent you understand, and you still root for him. Because I think at the end of it, it's a shonen. He'll have a happy ending, and he's just trying to save his people. But most people just miss all the begging and the clear signs of what is to come. But still, not the key most villainous scene in this series. Because once again, spoilers again, he pretty much just holding everyone hostage here, and Reiner just begging, just kill him, leave everyone else, and everyone else just clueless, and we all want any tension building, which makes the scene even better, because people below don't even know what they're in for. And then Eren gets up, and it seems like, oh, you're going to forgive him, and then Reiner looks up, and when he sees his face, he realizes, oh, shit, we fucked. And just the look in the eyes, and then the snap, the spark, and boom, that's it. But now we're getting into the more crucial ones, just ramping it up a bit. Most of this story was one of the greatest misdirects ever, because we rooting and we just trying to figure out who the villain is, as we always tend to, and we can never really pick aside countless debates. Even this one, this was my second choice in a villainous scene, where Eren's literally begging and convincing her to give him the power so that he could commit genocide. And the thing is, we are still rooting for him to an extent that all he wants to do is save his people because of all the unjustified treatment they received. And his brother just trying to do it because that's where he sees best, and another debate where there's no clear winner. And even after all the pain his father put him through and all that shaped Zeke to be the person he is, he just tried, and after falling for the trap with Eren, he wasted all he has to try and just stop what is about to come. But it's too late. And even at the last second, sorry, that's it, he loses. A speech that just led to genocide. Perfect. Once again, another anime amazing moment for Villainous scene. But still argue it's a far more key scene that we have to get into, and the one that I choose that will surpass all of this. And the scene I'm talking about is when Eren spoke to Gricia. But I think before that, a lot of people get lost in the visuals and the action and set pieces and don't actually notice all the little hints and things that come in. Yes, Attack on Titan is an amazing looking anime, but there are also always these little things that happen that just seem to play off and that you wouldn't think too much about until it was too late. And by too late, sorry, we mean the rumbling. One of them is this scene about to show here, where Eren just speaking to himself and trying to psych himself up, which we all thought was for just getting into the war and doing the things he had to do, and all the killing and everything he had to do, that he was just psyching himself up for it. But if we look at the scene closely, he already knows how it's going to play out. He already knows what he has to do, and that he can't quit, because this is the only way everything playing out and everything that he had already set in place. Because all of this might have happened after, well, before, in terms of us looking at it, but to him, this is all after. He already set everything in place. And even his friends, no matter how nice they be to him, some of them already dead, already gone, and some of them don't matter. And all the pressure start getting to him because he realized that how pointless all of this is, and all of the niceties and all of that just doesn't matter. Like all of this, all the people around him now doesn't matter. And it just seemed out of place for him because all the time he was the ideal protagonist, all about his friends and all those other things. But there's one thing that he missed. I have a clip where we cut in just now where we'll actually see what happened, what he actually saw potentially when he kissed Historia's hand. And from this moment, I would argue this is the moment when Eren went from a protagonist and hero to protagonist, and the actual villain of the story. Because at this moment, he saw all the memories of the Attack Titan holders as he had the Founding Titan. And seeing all of this, it wasn't just seeing it because he had only Attack Titan, because he had the Founding Titan as well. He had access to all of the memories, all of the different scenarios, the futures, as well as even a bit of the past. And seeing all that, he realized that a lot of his actions didn't really matter, and that he had to do some things. And this is pre-time skip, meaning those few years of trading was already decided here. And spoilers for the manga, but there's a moment in the manga where he was even speaking with Armin, and where he was speaking with Armin when they were children, and he erased his memories because since then he actually knew how everything was going to play out, and he apologized to him and a bunch of that. Couldn't find the video, but let's get into my one Villainous moment, starting right now. This is it here. This is when Zeke went back into the memories to show Eren exactly what Gricia did. And Zeke heard this story for years. This is the moment when his dad killed all the children and everyone. And he's realizing now, wait, this is not how it played out. It's not supposed to be like this. Why? And then he realized, everyone realized something going on differently, and like they're telling her who I found in Titan to kill him. And one thing I think people miss about this is, if she had the found in Titan, perhaps she could have been communicating with the original who I found in Titan, and she also knew how all is going to play out, and that's why she hesitated. But I'll digress. This is about Eren, not about that. Because in this scene, arguably, Eren 100% is the villain of this story. At this moment, he is only giving his dad a certain bit of memories and convincing him that he needs to kill them so that Eren could have all the power and get everything set in place so he could do all the scenes that came before. Remember, this is before Eren's mother died. This is before the walls were broken. Because this is the moment when we had to find out that the Attack Titan power is to actually show its memories of other holders. And the moment when he kissed the hand, we already saw that. But for me, the reason why this scene in its entirety, is the best Villainous scene, and my scene is what happened and the aftermath. Because it was at this moment we realized that everything was Eren. You know, in WandaVision, the song, it was Agatha all along. It was Eren. It was always Eren. Eren is the one that caused his father to kill them, get the Titans, and give it to him. Eren knew about the wall, he knew about the war, and all of that had to happen. Eren knew about all the kings, the fake armies, all of it. And it was all part of the plan to get him where he needed to go. And what made it so villainous, it wasn't just his father and those people that manipulated, it was all of us. Because we watched Eren from a child until all the way up until he's an adult, rooting for him, and at this moment we realized that we actually knew nothing. So even we were betrayed. Zeke spent his entire life thinking his dad was a heartless villain and did all these things to find out that he was the one that his dad loved the most, and it wasn't Eren. All the jealousy and hatred he had for Eren and his dad was unfounded. That it was always him, and he wanted to stop Eren. He wishing and regretting it, but he always loved Zeke. And at this moment, Zeke was broken because he realized everything that he thought he knew, he was wrong. That it wasn't his grand plan, everything following that. It was always Eren's plan. And that he has no concept of what Eren's going to do. And even his dad finally telling me love what she always wanted, just bittersweet. And us as the viewers and knowing the backstory of all of it, it's like we all involved in this as well. And we are all betrayed by it. And then they reveal that this is nothing. What Eren going to do, going to be so much worse. And once again, this is right before the scene where he ran and convinced her to give him control of everything. But that's a foregone conclusion. Because I would argue that if she had all the Titan powers, since the moment she had it, she had access to the Nexus, and she already, and that's the moment she spoke to Eren. That's why, when the king was sacrificing her, that she didn't fight back, because she knew how it was all going to play out. All the atrocities Eren did, this genocide here, we massacring the civilians, this is nothing compared to the scene before, because in that scene, he has already thought about and done it. This is just where the act happened. It was already decided back then. Every atrocious act, all the villainous things that happened in the entire series, stemmed from that one seed and that one moment. Eren, at that point, is where we realized, not when he became the villain, but when we realized that, oh no, Eren's a protagonist. He's the person the story is about. He's not the hero. He's the villain of this story. And you seen even that I showed before that, where he was hiking himself up and saying, "Was the point? Why you here? Why do I need you?" Even that just fits into this and makes more sense when you realize he already knew how a lot of this was going to play out. Even after he gained all the power and initiated the rumbling here, and even though they did showed it off screen, many people actually died when the wall broke and they started trampling, even before they end up saving them in the end. Spoiler alert. But still, even all those people killed was already decided in that one moment. And that is why for me, that is the most villainous scene and my one villainous scene. There's so much more to say. But anything more to say would be more for analysis video and just more than the scene, but as a backup and lean up to the scene. And then even this last one here, where he actually speaks and tells everyone this is exactly going to happen, have nothing they could do about it, and this is why I'm doing it. That in itself could also be an amazing scene, but when you go back to the one with him and Gricia and Zeke, that one just hit everybody hard. Usually you could debate the morality in most scenes in Attack on Titan, but there was no question in that scene. That's one where everyone agreed that was just foul. That was just heinous. That is exactly what a villain is. They don't have to be just evil. They are just the choices they make and the actions they take. Just put them at odds with all sorts of morality, and that's what Eren did. I hope you enjoyed my video. Might be a bit ranty, but hey, one villainous scene. Let me know. Like, subscribe, comment below, and let me know what you think. Just give it a try.